turn back just a page and read together on page 126. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. We now illumine our sanctuary by the lighting of the Shabbat candles, and we welcome tomorrow morning's bat mitzvah, Isabel Ilfelder, to join us for the Shabbat candle lighting and Kiddush. You can bring that if you want.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lecha ligner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
And we turn to page 123 as we join Isabel for Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho ba'ahava uvratzon hinhilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit kihuyon tehillah l'mikra'ei kodesh Secher l'yetziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidasha mikol ha'amim v'shabbat shel Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh
Mazel tov, Isabel, and to your whole family. You will be outstanding tomorrow, and we are all excited for you.
Thank you.
Pages of my prayer book don't want to stay open. We are going to turn now to pages 138 and 139. L'chadodi likrat kala. We welcome the Sabbath Queen.
Shabbat
turn to page 146 and rise for our call to worship, the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Roll into dark, roll into night, light becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, light becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, borei or mipnei choshech, borei or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light, light becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, light becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, borei or mipnei choshech, borei or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light, light becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, light becomes day, day turns to night.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim.
ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו.
We turn to page 154 and chant Ve'ahavta together.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשיטתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאותייתך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Let's read together on the facing page. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. Whether you are tired or you are rested, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. Page 159. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש. נורא דינות עושה פלא, נורא דינות עושה פלא, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה מרים, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש. נורא דינות עושה פלא, נורא דינות עושה פלא, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאה ישראל.
We turn one page to 160 for Hashkivenu, our prayer asking for protection in the night, that God surround us with a sukkah of security and of peace, a sukkah of love, a sukkah of hope, a shelter of all the good that we wish for.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. העמידנו שומרנו לחיים.
We turn our thoughts and prayers from protection and sukkah of peace to a sukkah of healing as we turn our thoughts to our Misha Berach, asking God for refuah shlema, refuah hanefesh, refuah haguf, for healing of mind, body, and spirit for all those in our lives who are in need. And tonight we are thinking about Wendy Foreman Abrams, Rafa Al-Karam, Eliyahu Ben Moshe, Candace Cardenas, Richard J. Cohen, Joan Eisenberg, John Fallow, David Friedman, Amy Kirsch, Yasha Yehuda Ben Leah, Ben Panku, Ken Paul, Mordechai Ron Ben Rachel, Terry Rivas, Yaakov Ben Shaul Vesara, Mark Volek, Edith Witt, Arnie Yusam, and all those suffering in Israel, in the Sudan, in Ukraine, and throughout the world. Page 371, our prayer for healing.
מי שברך אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of rain who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach amotenu mikor habracha avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim. We praise you, God, healer of the sick. We turn back to pages 164 and following as we rise for tefillah.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasad לקוני הכל, לזוכר חסדי עבור מאימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם לעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מחכה חיים לחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים לרופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ולמען אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. You may be seated. The top of page 173, let's read together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael, u'tefilatam ba'ahavat tekabel u'thi l'ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and in our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands. You are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levarcha, b'yirah avod. Our prayer of gratitude, page 176, we'll read together in the middle of the page. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, your mercies never end. O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lehodot. From gratitude, we turn to thoughts of peace, asking for completeness and wholeness in this world. The root of the word for peace, what's the word for peace in Hebrew? Shalom. The root of that word, shin lamed mem, is also the same for completeness. And we will be complete when there is peace in this world. And so we turn our thoughts and our prayers to that moment, asking God for that to speedily be upon us. May it be your will, Adonai, our God, and God of our ancestors, to put an end to war and bloodshed on earth, and to spread a great and wonderful shalom over the whole world, so that nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. May all inhabitants of this planet come to recognize and know that the ultimate truth, we did not come to this world for hatred, envy, mockery, or bloodshed. We came to this world only to do what is good and right before you.
Therefore, have mercy upon us and fulfill for us what is written. I will grant shalom in the land, and you shall lie down, and none shall make you afraid. I will drive the wild beasts from the land, and neither shall the sword pass through your country. And justice will well up like water, righteousness like a mighty stream. For the land will be filled with knowledge of the eternal, as water covers the sea. Page 178, Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace.
Shalom Rav, O Yisrael, Amcha Tosin Leolam. Shalom Rav, O Yisrael, Amcha Tosin Leolam. Ki atahum lechalom, lechol shalom. Ki atahum lechalom, lechol shalom. V'tonenecha levarich et amcha Yisrael. V'chulei v'chosha b'shlomecha. Baruch atah Adonai, oseh shalom.
We take a moment now for personal prayers and reflections.
יהיו לרצון אמרפי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי וגואלי. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock, and my redeemer. יהיו לרצון אמרפי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי וגואלי.
You'll forgive me. I need a sip of water. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. A poem by Rick Lupert. Bihar. If you were the earth, out of which everyone's food grew, animal and human alike, you would need a rest too. You need a rest too. Take one. Not in 7 years. Every year, a week or two outside of your element. It will help define your element. Every week, a full day. We keep repeating this until the time between instances of that day diminishes and someone does drink from the extra cup at the table. Every day, a full hour, or do like the Spanish and take a siesta, a day off in the middle of your day. And what are you doing at night? I hope not thinking about the day. The two are different. That's in chapter 1. You may have to start this over if you missed that. Give it a few months and you will start this over. When the leaves leave the trees, when the heat of your summer rest is reduced to digital memories, when the round keeps coming around and the slaves are freed and the complicated laws of real estate find their ancient roots, take a rest. We are not the owners here. It would be generous to call us the caretakers. Take a rest. Free your slave. Put your food in the cabinet for later. This is the earth, giver of all to all. How many weeks are in a year? 52. And how many Torah portions are there total? 52. Excellent. 54. Using logic, one might assume that there would also be 52 parshiot, one for each week of the year, but as we all know, Judaism doesn't always make things quite that simple. So as we heard, there are 54, 2 more than the number of weeks in a year. There are, however, several weeks in a year when a holiday may fall on Shabbat and the portion for that holiday is read, not the portion for the Torah reading cycle. In order to reconcile the number of parshiot with the number of Shabbatot in a year, 14 portions may be paired together, creating 7 double portions throughout the year. Some years, the double portions are pulled apart, and other years they are joined together to become whole. Doesn't that mirror real life? Some days we feel pulled apart. Other days we feel whole. It's probably the most perfect metaphor for what many of us feel each and every day. This week's Torah portion is one of these 7 double portions, Bahar Bechukotai. We have come to the end of the book of Leviticus, a book that, despite all its shortcomings and challenges, is a book that I have grown to really appreciate. Leviticus at its core is all about relationships. Relationships with family, friends, employees, the land and earth, ourselves, and most importantly, our relationship with God. When we come to the end of this double portion, we are once again reminded of God's promises and reminded to keep up our end of the agreement, to be faithful and loyal, and to uphold the mitzvot, in order that we may have peace and security. Next week, we will begin the book of Numbers. People who are not regular attendees at Torah study are often surprised to learn that the Israelites have not yet left Mount Sinai. That when we conclude Leviticus, it feels like we've been there a long time, we haven't gone so much as a mile on our 40-year journey, that the people, in fact, still have about 39 years and 9-ish months left to go. And yet, with so much more time left in the journey, we are reminded over and over of our obligations to one another, to the earth, and to God. We learned this week about the sabbatical and jubilee years for the earth. During a sabbatical year, we are commanded to not work the land, but to leave whatever grows for the hungry, needy, and wild beasts. And though we are not permitted to work the land, we are allowed to eat whatever happens to grow. During a year of the Jubilee, In addition to observing the laws of a sabbatical year, properties are returned to original owners, prices of land are calculated on prices before the sabbatical, and Israelites forced into slavery are freed. Cantor David Fair writes, "My favorite verse of Bahar occurs when God is giving instructions for the Jubilee year, which occurs after 7 cycles of sabbatical years. The land must not be sold permanently, for the land belongs to me, and you reside in my land as Gerim and Toshavim. We were given the land at God's behest, and we must earn the right to remain here. A ger in this case means a temporary inhabitant. A toshav is a sojourner or a stranger. In other words, the Israelites are tenants on God's land." Land protection is not just about the land. Rather, because the land belongs to God, the land and the people are intertwined. Shabbat, the sabbatical year, and the Jubilee are meant to ease the burdens of the people in the land. In other words, that which is prescribed in the Torah is prescribed to provide renewal, rejuvenation, and revitalization to promote well-being for all. The freedom from toil that is reflected in the commandments to observe Shabbat, a sabbatical, and a Jubilee ultimately lead us to know God's greatest blessings. When we take time to rest, we find healing. There is a reduction in our stress levels, we become more productive, our bodies become healthier. There are only benefits to observing a Sabbath for us and the land. However, it's not just about rest, but the moral imperative that comes with taking the time to rest. When we give the land time to rest and leave the growth for those who are in need, we follow God's example of goodness. When we forgive debts, our moral compasses point due north, relieving those around us of burdens, reminding us that everything ultimately belongs to God, and once again following the example of goodness set before us. The returning of land promotes justice and equity, ensuring that no one will hold the monopoly of land and no one will become an oppressor. It can be quite a challenge to be human. Sometimes we fail, and sometimes we succeed. Sometimes we miss the mark, and sometimes we hit the bullseye. But what if we all just wanted to be good, regardless of the rewards and blessings? There may be consequences to our falling and failing, as detailed in the second part of this double portion. But ultimately, we are never doomed. We have free will, but the blessings and consequences set before us in Bahar B'chukotai safeguard us from our Yetzer Hara, our evil inclination. The rabbis say that the Torah is literally a lifeline. Cling to it and its teachings and find life. But let it go, and we make choices, and we face the consequences of those choices. In his book, When Bad Things Happen to Good People, Rabbi Harold S. Kushner argues that being human leaves us free to hurt each other, and God can't stop us without taking away the freedom that makes us human. We have the choice to cause suffering or to rise above. And for those things that are out of our control, Kushner writes, God gives us the strength to cope. The ultimate reward comes not from something physical, but from finding the meaning that the commandments give to our lives. Now, if you're thinking, she went from preaching about rest to preaching about choices and rewards, and I'm lost and I don't see the connection, let me help connect the dots. The choices we make for ourselves and for the world around us have far-reaching impact. Whether it's taking the time we need to rejuvenate ourselves, or treating the earth correctly and taking care of it as we are commanded to, or whether it's recognizing the moral imperative in following the laws of the sabbatical and Jubilee years detailed in Bahar, or whether it's observing the commandments as best we can, we have to do right and create a little bit of justice for ourselves and the world around us. At the end of each book of the Torah, we say, Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazik. Be strong, and may you be strengthened through renewal and rejuvenation so that you may be in relationship with yourself, with the world around you and only know God's greatest blessings. May we all be strengthened so that we may have more days when we feel whole and able to do the good work set before us. As Rick Lupert writes in his poem Bechukotai, taken from his book God Wrestler, a poem for every Torah portion, let us grow strong from our desire to be the goodest we can be. Let us be so strong. Let us be so strengthened. Shabbat Shalom. We are going to turn back in our prayer book to page 586 and rise for Aleinu L'Shabach. 586, please rise.
Aleinu L'Shabach L'Adon Hakol Latet Gedula L'Yotzei Breshit Shelo Asanu K'goyei Ha'aratzon Velo Samanu K'mishpechat Adama Shelo Sam Chelkenu Kahem V'gor Aleinu Kechol Hamonam V'anachnu Korim U'mishtachavim U'modim Lifnei Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu V'ne'emar V'ya Adonai L'melech al kol ha'aretz V'yom ha'hu V'yom ha'hu Yeh Adonai echad U'shemo
You may be seated. Page 592. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die. People do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. Our thoughts turn now to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. Tonight, we mark a period of Shloshim, those who have been taken from us in recent days, for Sheila Bamberger, Cindy Spector, and Linda Weinstein. And we recall all those who were taken from us at this season in years past. Marianne Mickey Abrams, Jules Adler, Marvin Barsky, Martin Henry Baumholtz, Marion Beriston, Terry Bladen, Harry Bronstein, Selma Chazanoff, Albert J. Clark, Sarl Cohen, Lynn Suzanne Cooper, Selma Davis, Myron Deutsch, Frank Barry Diamond Jr., Leonard Dorn, Zach Egendorf, Joan Etzkowitz, Diana Farrow, Rosalind Fedora, Morris Feinstein, Bernard Fishman, Dennis Joseph Fleming, Philip Foreman, Edward Gartner, Philip Gershman, Miriam Ginsberg, Marvin B. Glickman, Barbara Greenberg, Joel Green, Leopold Haas, Bruce Hess, Charlotte Leslie Horvitz, Samuel Horvitz, Aaron Kahn, Jacob W. Kamens, Eleanor Kaiser, Jack D. Kelmer, Frank King, Jean Knopping, Nathan Kravis, Violet S. Crone, Elizabeth Wallowitz Levikoff, Marlene Levin, Herbert Lotman, Morris Love. And we remember Erwin M. Melgen, Suzanne Aronson Miller, Francis Netsky, Betty Heron Olshan, Michelle Suzanne Powers, Byron Prusky, Harry Resner, Larry Rome, Helen Rosen, David Rosenblum, Ellen Ruttenberg, Gilbert Saft, Rose Samons, Nat Schwartz, Miriam Schwartz, Leonard Stanley Shapiro, Andrew Silverman, Florence Silverman, David Adam Smith, Eleanor Sostman, George Sprague, Gloria Steinberg, Anna Trachtenberg, Anna Weinberg, Martin Weiss, Samuel B. White, Rose Whitman, Richard Winston, and Estelle Zeldin. Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories ever come to be a blessing, and may they always bring you comfort and strength. As we turn now to the words of Kaddish Yatom, page 598, please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala ubizman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Da'amiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May God, who creates harmony on high, bring peace to us and to all of Israel. And let us say, amen. You may be seated, except for the one and only Helene Ehrlich Cohen, who will dazzle us now with the weekly announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. And thank you, Cantor Rudnick, Andy, and the wonderful mixed choir for this lovely service this evening. Just want to call your attention to some very exciting upcoming programs and special events. Join Rabbi Kleinman tomorrow at 9 a.m. for Torah study, followed by our Shabbat morning service. Both Torah study and the Shabbat services will be in person and on Zoom. Join Rabbi Newberg tomorrow morning as she leads the Shabbat morning walk tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Please meet her at the Kinwood Trail. And the next walk will be June the 9th at Rolling Hill Park. I know my hearing has not gone. Registration for religious school for the 2023-24 school year is officially open. Families who register by May 31st will enjoy this year's tuition rates next year. The Tikkun Alum Network is supporting Women of Change with a toiletry drive. Please drop off your items by Monday, May 15th. The Sisterhood Shabbat is next Friday, May 19th at 6:30 p.m. Please join us for a special service and the installation of the new officers. Our tribe 10th graders will join decades of other dedicated students and become MLRT confirmands during our wonderful confirmation service on Tuesday, May the 23rd at 7 p.m. You can spread some MLRT love by sending a confirmation greeting to our confirmands. The greetings support the Women of Reform Judaism's Yes Fund. Save a life during a national blood shortage and sign up to donate blood at our MLRT American Red Cross Blood Drive Thursday, May 25th from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. Learn to line dance and enjoy a delicious barbecue at Sisterhood's last rodeo of 2022-23. The festivities begin at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, May 30th. You will find complete information about all our programs in the MLRT Bulletin and e-news and on our website at www.mlrt.org. Mazel tov to Isabel Ilfelder, who will celebrate her bat mitzvah tomorrow morning. Mazel tov in advance. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Helene. I apologize. I don't know what is happening with our sound system today, so I apologize for the extra feedback. No. I'm not quite sure what's happening. We are going to conclude. You don't need a page number for this. The words are easy. Shabbat, Shalom, Umevorach. May you have a good, sweet, peaceful, restful Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Umevorach, Shabbat Shalom, Umevorach, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We'll gather for Oneg in the lobby.
We're done with our Mondays, but we sing one more in June. Sure. Keep the bender.
Harmonize everything. Yeah, me. Yeah, I tried. Me too. Yeah. Oh, he's singing the third. I'll sing the fifth.
I used to be terrible at thirds. That's like all tenors sing. I've been getting better.
We did great. Held down the alto section.
We have one more on
June then?
June,
Yes.
right?
I don't think we're having rehearsal.
Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah, you sound great.
When you rehearsed it, it was very bumpy. And when you did it,
Yeah,
it was
it's better. Good.
like silk.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Victor?
That's because it's over.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yes, but I clap.
That's very good.
I clap. Thank you.
Back on 76 again.
That's going to be no.
I still say the same line. I don't do that with my text. I don't let them know if I've read it.